Konnichiwa, hello and welcome. This is Roy at Godzilla 90, and today I will be reviewing the NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Godzilla 2019 V2 figure. And I got some things to say about it, so let's get things started. And now, starting things off with the box. First things first, you can see this box is different than the original. We kind of have like this blue backdrop with the 2019 Godzilla kind of like charging up his dorsal spines right there, looking really cool. Almost kind of looks like a poster version, but it's not. But anyway, we have the Monsterverse logo at the top right. We have the Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019 movie logo, and of course we have the title of the figure. Just says Godzilla, although this is actually it's labeled as V2, which stands for version 2. The inside, we have a really cool picture of the figure right there with a city background. And of course, the inside of the figure, inside of the box, I already took the figure out, so yeah, that was like 5 years ago. But anyway, the top of the box, we have a really cool picture of the 2019 Godzilla right there. It's just a flipped image of the original box, technically. And of course, we have ages 14 and up, so this is not for small children. This is for older, more mature collectors, of course. And of course, we have a warning label, choking hazard, so don't mistake this for candy or anything edible and try to eat it. And trust me, I've been through that multiple times on this channel. Although I say that just for comedic purposes, because I know we all know better. But anyway, we have the Godzilla 65th anniversary from 1954 to 2019, which we are 2025 now. And of course, we have the NECA logo right there. The right side of the box, we have the Godzilla King of the Monsters logo, the 65th Godzilla anniversary logo yet again, and of course we have measures 12 inches from head to tail, hinge jaw and blast accessory. Anyway, over 25 points of articulation. I can read. Anyway, I'm just getting ahead of myself. Also, we have the Godzilla title logo yet again. Bottom of the box, nothing too interesting, except like we have the NECA logo and real toys and a serial number and a barcode, which, yeah, I don't think anybody's too big of a fan of barcodes. And the back of the box, we see some really cool pictures of the figure with the heat ray blast effect part that this comes with, because it's basically technically a heat ray version. They just label as V2. We see both pictures right there, and of course we have the different figures you can collect in the line. Already have that one. I also have the Target exclusive NECA 2019 Burning Godzilla, so I'm probably gonna review that one soon as well. And of course it says collect them all. I have all of them except for Rodan, and I'm not going out of my way for that one because it's going to cost me too much. And we also have the Godzilla King of the Monsters logo yet again. 2019 Legendary, all rights reserved, trademark Toho.co, Monsterverse, and yada yada yada. But yeah, pretty much concludes it for the box. Now on to the figure. And now here we have the NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Godzilla 2019 V2 figure right here before us in all of his supercharged atomic glory, because V2 is basically just a fancy name for an atomic blast or heat ray version, because he comes with a heat ray breath effect part, which I will be getting into later in this video. Going over detail first, so let me put my light on so we can see those awesome glowing dorsal spines of his. Really nice. Oh, and we also see some accents of silver in there as well, so we do have some silver wash in that icy blue colorization as well, looking really nice. And we also see some sort of like icy blue veins in his body as well. If we look at those thighs right there and the side of his torso right there, we could see those blue veins coursing through his body, just pulsing with energy from his atomic power. Looking really cool and really awesome. I like it. And if we bring him up close, we can see that the eyes are like sort of like a silvery white colorization. So they are pupilless, so you don't have to worry about getting googly eyes on this one. So that's a definite plus. And, you know, this one just has some really good detailing to him. It's well sculpted, well detailed. I don't have anything to complain about. This is kind of almost like an early version of like the Energized Godzilla you got with Hiya Toys, which I do have that one. I'm going to have to compare that one to this figure pretty soon. But anyway, I will be getting into detail and articulation with this figure, starting with the upper body portion of the figure, and then working my way down to the lower body portion of the figure, and then getting into accessories and getting a fuller, more in-depth view of the figure. So let's get started. And now, starting with the upper body portion of the figure, as you can see, this figure is well detailed and well sculpted. Like I said, you can see that the eyes are pupilless and they are a very shiny, silvery white color, as I stated. Like I said, this is kind of like an energized, like heat ray version, sort of. But anyway, articulation. The head can rotate independently from the neck, so we can do a cranium with all this. We also have jaw articulation, of course, although we don't have that much detail inside the mouth. His teeth would usually be white, but everything's all blue on this one, like he just sucked down a bubblegum snowball and got the inside of his mouth all blue. So that's that with this one. So you really don't see all like the red and pink details on the inside of the mouth like you usually would. But anyway, we also have a ball joint in the shoulders as well, so we can rotate those shoulders all the way around a full 360 and back the opposite way. And I'm about to knock them over, rotating both those arms at the same time. But anyway, we also have a elbow swivel in both arms as well, so we can swivel those elbows all the way around, and we can bend them forward and back on a single joint hinge as well. So we do have that, and we do have a ball joint at the wrist, so we can swivel those wrists like so. Same is true with the other hand. Yeah. And we can rock them forward and back slightly, so we don't really have a hinge in those hands. It's just a ball joint. And we can also rotate at the waist as well, because we do have a ball joint in that waist, but we can only like rotate. We can't like really like lean them forward for an ab crunch or anything, because it's like it doesn't really move too much. So all we can do is swivel. So that pretty much concludes it for articulation in the upper body portion of the figure. So now working our way down to the lower body portion of the figure and getting into the hips and the legs and the knees and all that good stuff. So let's get to it. And now getting things started with the lower body portion of the figure. As you can see, this figure is well sculpted in the lower body portion. The hips and legs do look really nice, although this is a $20 figure and we don't have Monster Arts level articulation, nor do we have Hiya Toys exquisite basic level articulation, but we still have good enough articulation for what it is for the time, because unfortunately you can't get NECA figures anymore for reasonable prices, because you got to pay aftermarket like markups if you want them. I know the feeling. I've been paying markups on Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures, and yeah, not fun. But Anyway, getting into leg articulation, the hips are on ball joints, so we can't really like spread them out too much because we don't have to like like butterfly style ball joints. They're just like a single ball joint that's just stuck in there, so it's not even barbell style, it's just a single ball joint. All you can do is swivel like so it's just basically a swivel joint, so you can't really like spread them out too much or anything. So that's about it. Also, we do have a single joint hinge in the knee as well, and we can swivel all the way around a full 360. Pretty much same level of articulation as the original NECA Godzilla 2019, as you were seeing, because basically just a repainted version of the same figure, practically just giving you a heat ray breath effect part and sort of like a blast impact piece with it. So that's pretty much what you're getting. But although I would say this one looks cooler than the original, and we do have some good ball joints in the feet, so we can rock the feet forward and back like so we can point them about that much and bring them back about that much and rotate them all the way around. And the same is true with the other side, so we can point them forward and back and rotate all the way around a full 360, just like you can with the other foot. And tail articulation, the tail on these are well segmented and very satisfying. I would say the tail on the NECA Godzilla 2019 figures, these legendary Godzillas, like the 2019 figures in particular, are some of the best tails you will get on a NECA figure. I would have said legendary NECA Godzilla figures, but then that kind of also refers to the 2014, which the tail on that one is not so great, unless like you get the 24-inch like head to tail that roars, which I also have. That one has a fully segmented tail, but not the regular like 6-inch one. But anyway, tail articulation with this is really good. We do have a fully segmented tail, so we can move about this far that way. We can move about that far the opposite way. We can put it in a really nice S-curve like so. Really nice. And we can put it in an S-curve the opposite way. So that tail is well segment, comprised of a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, and a 6, and a 7, and an 8, and a 9, and a 10 ball joint segments. So that is really good. I appreciate that a lot, because yeah, these figures, I mean, they were cheap, but I mean, they gave you at least some good level of articulation on a budget, unlike Monster Arts, which cost you out the wazoo, which most people gotta break the entire bank just to get one, you know, unlike these, which didn't cost you a whole lot at all. But anyway, that concludes it for articulation in detail with the lower body portion of the figure. So now let's get in depth with accessories and get a closer, more in-depth look at the figure. And now getting to its accessories and getting a closer, more in-depth look at the figure. Of course, he comes with the heat ray breath effect part and the blast impact piece. So what you do is you open up the mouth like so, and basically you take this part. We have a little socket right here that fits right over the tongue like a sock, so we put that over the tongue, and we basically just it's supposed to hit that sort of, but it does slip out the mouth a lot, so it's kind of hard to get it to stay. But anyway, you get the point. So I'll just put it like that. So there we have it. Now we can see he's blasting my TV. But anyway, I don't need any broken TV, so and take that out now. It's not like that's literally going to destroy the monitor behind me, but are in front of me, which is behind this figure. But anyway, getting a quick, more in-depth full 360 view of this figure. And like I said, dorsal spines on this figure is really nice. I like this one. Matter of fact, I actually had this one before the original Godzilla 2019, the original NECA. So yeah, it's like, why you gotta get the original if you got this one? Because I'm OCD. I gotta get them all. I got one. I gotta get them all. Gotta get them all. You get one Power Ranger, you gotta get all the Power Rangers. You get one Ninja Turtle, you gotta get all the Ninja Turtles. You get one Bionicle Toa set, you gotta get all the Toa sets. That's just how I am. One's just never enough for me. That's why I spend so much money on collecting action figures. I'm so OCD with them. Although I've never been diagnosed with OCD disorder. I know I am ADD. I know I'm ADD though. That I can tell you. But anyway, yeah, this is a really nice figure, and I really like it. Highly recommend it if you could get your hands on one for a decent price, which I don't recommend paying aftermarket prices. Or better yet, just get the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla 29 or Godzilla X Kong The New Empire V2 figure, because it's very similar to this one. I will do a side-by-side comparison in another video, so be on the lookout for that. But anyway, that pretty much concludes it for this figure review. I will now be getting into my final verdict, where I will be giving this figure a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability. So let's get to it. And now for my final verdict on the NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Godzilla 2019 V2 figure here. I have to give this one a final score based on detail, articulation, and playability. I have to give this one a drumroll, please. A well-deserved, knocked out of the park, fair but square victory roar of 5 out of 5 stars. Why? Although, yeah, like I said, this was a budget figure, so it's not like it's going to have all the bells and whistles that an SH Monster Arts figure is going to have, or it's going to have the same level of articulation like a Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic. These were $20 budget figures from back in the day, but they were still collector grade, so they were still something, and still good to have, especially if you want good articulated, good detailed Godzilla figures on a budget. If you didn't have a whole lot of money coming in, back in the day, I was on with Bussin' Tables. I didn't have that much money coming in. I still don't have a whole lot of money coming in. I got like a monthly income. That's all I get for the month until hopefully I'm able to find work if I can. But anyway, yeah, I think these were really good figures, especially from back in the day. If that was all you could afford, and that's all you had money for, yeah, I mean, really good. Like I said, much appreciated. Although, like I said, I mean, you're not gonna find this for $20 anymore, unfortunately, on the aftermarket, unless like you get bootlegs from like Etsy or AliExpress, and then you might have to pay a boatload of tariffs on top of that now. So yeah, just not fair pricing anymore. Yeah, definitely appreciate it if you have this one, because really good. If not, like I said, go for the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla X Kong Godzilla 2024 Energized version. It's very similar to this one. The only difference, it doesn't come with a heat ray breath effect part, nor does it come with like an impact accessory piece. But that one is still a really good figure, and that is one of my top favorites Hiya Toys figures of all time. I'm going to try to get some more Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla figures. I know I've been spending a lot of money on Power Rangers Lightning Collection stuff, and I've been kind of getting back into Power Rangers. So those of you who really don't care too much for Power Rangers that watching this channel, like, I do apologize, but I'm also thinking about posting some Bionicle stuff, because I do have a lot of Bionicle sets from that I have accumulated from back in the day, from 2001 to 2010. No, I don't. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the the Bionicle in like the reboot sets from like what 2015 to 2016. Unfortunately, I couldn't get those. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. And I know I talk a lot. You know, I can go off. I don't even write scripts. You know, I'm going off a script, but don't even write. So anyway, I just do these reviews on the fly. But anyway, guys, if you did make it this far into the video, thank you guys all so much for watching. Your attention span is greatly appreciated. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps out this channel. And as always, stay safe, take care, God bless, stay positive, stay powered up, and peace out.